It's just fun to have this type of talk and discussion about a championship team here in the Metroplex.
Titletown.
Yeah, Titletown. And there's no one better to share in that glory with than Howard Eskin. WIP in Filthy for Cowboys Eagles on Sunday on this radio station. And Howard is joining us on the Boomer Jacks Bar and Grill Hotline. Good morning. Would you like to congratulate us on our championship?
Well, the Texas Rangers are a good baseball team, but here's what I think. This is what whoever it is that kind of creates these miracles. One championship parade in 30 years. That's about the quota for Dallas. So you now you got to wait another 30 years to have a parade. So that eliminates the Cowgirls and those that stinking team, because now you've already had your parade. But I honestly, I like the way the Texas Rangers play the game. They mix in base hits with home runs. You knock men in. The Phillies, unfortunately, are just a home run hitting team, and that's what cost them. But I really do like the way they play. And the other good thing that Texas has, a great thing, is they actually have a really good leader in Bruce Bochy. Terrific manager, which like the other end of the spectrum from that dope of a head coach you have for the Cowboys. So it's the opposite ends of the spectrum. Mike McCarthy, it's a joke. It's a joke to have him as the head coach. I'm so thankful for Jerry Jones to keep him around another year. But this is it for him. But Bruce Bochy is terrific. So I like the Texas Rangers.
Did your city melt down after you choked away those two games at home against Arizona? How did the city react?
Well, obviously they were in deep despair. They had to close the bridges so they didn't jump the rivers. But the reality is, and I was the bad guy because I tried to explain to people, you can't win with just hitting home runs. You've got to have a little bit of a small game, at least a little bit, and knock in men on base. The Phillies were terrible at driving in runners who were on base. They were terrible at that. So I could see it coming because the pitching gets better. Arizona, they don't hit many home runs, but I do like the way they play the game. But no, it was a bad time here. It was really bad. There was suicide watches. There was all kinds of things.
Are you being for real?
Oh.
No.
Okay. Is it is it like, because
it was bad. It was because the expectations in every city, I mean, honestly, in every city, they're always so high when your teams get to the playoffs. But they had 16 to 20 celebrations. These celebrations when you just make the playoffs, then you win this series, and then you win that series. It's too much. But so the expectations were so high. Hey, the Phillies have some really good players, but they don't have enough of the way you play the game. So, but the expectations were out of control. They were out of control. Just like you guys with the Cowboys. Every year you go through this because they suck and they never win anything.
What was the record last year, head up? Do you remember?
Head up doesn't mean – what is head up? Who made the Super Bowl and who didn't?
Who lost the Super Bowl? Who lost the Super Bowl and who didn't? We didn't lose the Super Bowl. We didn't lose the Super Bowl.
By the way, this city has 2 titles in the last 12 years. It's not every 30. Philly has one title.
The Mavericks. All right. Give me a break. Again, you guys live in the past. It's a joke. It is. I'm so happy that I don't live in that city to listen to the nonsense of all these championship teams that never win squat. I mean, my gosh.
Howard Eskin is joining us from Filthy, Boomer Jacks Bar and Grill Hotline. Okay, assess the Eagles' season so far, and are they as good as last year's team?
Boy, I don't think they're as good as last year's team, but it seems like nobody in the NFL is as good as last year. It really is. I mean, I don't think Kansas City's going back to the Super Bowl. I can't see it. And and I'm a Swiftie, but the Taylor Swift effect is killing them.
Wait a second. Howard Eskin's a Swiftie?
Yeah, I'm a Swiftie.
Give me your top two favorite songs.
Shake it up, brother. All right.
Okay. All right.
I believe that's shake it off.
It's shake it off, you
Shake it
numbnut. It's shake it off, you nimwit.
I'm done. I'm done because in Dallas, that's what you have to do every year with the Cowboys.
Shake it off. You
Shake it up.
freaking
Shake it up. Do you also call it a
Shake
like
it up.
story instead of a love story that he's got?
No, hey, listen, it's over the top, and I mean, I know Travis Kelce really well, and he's a great guy, but this is just nonsense already. But I don't think, for a lot of reasons, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are going back. But that's the point in the NFL. Are the Eagles as good as last year? Not yet. Can they be? Sure. They have some really good players. They've added some nice players. Everybody adds players going into each season, but they haven't played the way they played for a lot of the games last year. But they still have the best record in the NFL. It just goes to show you the NFL. I mean, who's as good?
You don't think you're better than San Fran at full strength, do you? Look at you.
Are you dying over there? What's going on? Stop smoking.
Yeah, I'm all choked up with you guys. Purdy is. I think Purdy's getting exposed. So I don't think they have a quarterback. So
Y'all have that in common.
I think they are. Oh yeah. Well, you don't have a quarterback. I mean, that guy's a fraud.
Hey, look. I mean, yours is leading the league in interceptions, just like ours was last year. So we're equal.
Oh, did you,
Howard? What was that?
Howard?
Boom.
He disappeared.
Did you hit
He's gone.
What's going on? Oh, we don't want
Howard?
the guy. Look, this is friendly.
Nice going, Bobby. Look what you did.
We don't trust me.
Trust me, Howard could take it.
That man has calluses that are 19 times thicker to deal with more than what we're throwing at him right here. So
Too much. I'm too much for him.
Yeah, we'll get him back on. I hope he's okay health wise.
I know.
Get rid of that.
Health-wise.
Get ready to bail. I don't
He's
want.
coughing on us and everything.
I know. By the way,
Poor guy.
Randy Galloway, Choppy has
Yo and hello.
gotten Randy Galloway to wake up for us at 8:00 this morning on your home of the Rangers and Cowboys. Let's see. Yo, man, what's going on over there, Howard?
Hey, you guys are in trouble. You start all this other nonsense, and the gods up there say that's enough. You've got to stop talking to these idiots.
Howard, tell us how they're not as good as last year, and has he solidified himself like he's real deal? The questions about him throwing, are all those gone now?
Well, last week he actually started. I mean, it was probably his best game of the season, not the best game of his career, because last year he was terrific. I think the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, has taken steps to get back to where he was last year. The defense, for the most part, has been really good, but it's hard to explain. But last year you just saw them. The Eagles just really kind of dominated a lot of teams. They're not going to win 14 games this year, even though they've got 7 wins now. I don't know how they can win 14 games, but they're still a very, very good team. And right now, they're the best in the NFC. They're clearly the best team in the NFC. And I'm not worried about San Francisco, and I never worry about the Cowboys because they choke. They choke every year. They choke every year. Every year they choke. So I'm not. And what other teams are there? I mean, Detroit. That's nice. They, looks like they're excited in Detroit, but I can't put them in the same class. So who's out there? Seattle, but they're the best team. But the Eagles have room to get better, and I think they will because as you go through the season, it's really difficult when you lose a Super Bowl. Only one team in the last 28 years has gotten back, which is crazy.
Yep. When
you think about that. That's and the only one was New England, and that's after they lost to the Eagles. So I don't understand why, but long seasons, injuries, things change. But the Eagles are pretty good. They're not quite as good as, but that doesn't mean they're not good, and that doesn't mean they're not better than the Cowboys. The Cowboys suck.
Is the defense what's taking the biggest step back? What's wrong with it?
No, defense. I mean, some games they're just so dominant, and then last week, here's what the NFL does, and this is really they know what they're doing when they put these schedules up. when you schedule division teams that close together, the two games that close together. Now, they beat Washington and Philadelphia. Last week, within 3 or 4 weeks, those are really tough games when you play the same team twice in that short a period of time. Look at Denver and Kansas City. I loved Denver last week. Loved them. They played twice within 3 weeks. But the NFL knows what they're doing because they try to schedule these games close together because they don't want the same team winning both games. And that last week was just strange to watch Washington just move up and down the field. But in the end, good teams win, and that's what the Eagles did. They came back to win, and they fumbled twice inside the 5-yard line. So it could have been worse. It could have been worse than it was. So the schedule sometimes is a part of why teams win and lose. And the NFL knows what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing by doing that. Hey, they have the Eagles and the Giants scheduled twice within 3 weeks at the end of the year. But the Giants are so bad, they ought to go to Division II in college. Are so bad. It's so you don't worry about them. But no, it's just they're a good team. The thing that I know that they're better than Dallas. That I know.
You got swept last year with a better team than you have this year.
And what did that do for you in the playoffs, big guy? Really, what did that do for you? You know, what's that? You're going to have a parade for that? You're going to have a parade for sweeping a team twice in the same – just have parades every week.
Howard Eskin.
Make yourselves feel good.
Howard Eskin, WIP in Philly. Look, if there's one thing we know, you are going to irritate a GM or a head coach at a press conference. Have you ever covered anyone as insufferable as Nick Sirianni? He's the most hated coach in the Metroplex. He's such a D-bag. Have you ever covered someone as insufferable as him in that miserable place that you live and work?
He's twice the coach of that idiot you have with the Cowboys. He is Nick Sirianni. You can say what you want because obviously that's what you do in Dallas.
Yeah, he's a douche.
Not that it's right or wrong. Nick Sirianni is one of the better coaches. I'll say in the NFC. I haven't looked enough at the AFC. He's one of the better coaches. He's creative. He's got respect, and the players like him. It's hard to get both respect and the players like you. He's creative. I tell you, you guys can say what you want. He is an excellent head coach, and I like his personality. I did that. You listen to Mike McCarthy. Boy, those news conferences, Mike McCarthy each week are snore fest. There's snore fest with him. Sirianni's good. You guys get over it.
Hey,
you guys are so jealous of everything.
Hey, Bobby, our Cowboys insider, is flying out to Philly tomorrow. Give us the city's welcome for him. Where should he go? Where should he take in the sights? Where should he eat? What should he do to?
Where's the murder? How do I avoid that?
yeah, tell him not to go to Ishkabibbles for his cheesesteak this time.
Well, I'll tell you what. The first thing he should do is find a bridge and jump.
Oh,
because he's not welcome. He's not welcome.
3 suicide references. 3 suicide references for Howard. We're gonna see you in the Super Bowl. He's not welcome. He's not welcome.
He's not welcome. I'll tell you, the first thing that everybody wants to do is when they come to Philadelphia is get a cheesesteak. So there's Geno's and Pat's. They're right across the street from each other in South Philadelphia.
In the hood.
And I'm a Geno's fan, even though Pat's is very good. And there's places that are kind of a little bit further outside the city, which is Jim's is in the city. But there's so many good cheesesteak places. Here's what you guys don't have. Is a good cheesesteak. You don't have it because you don't have the bread. I told you that's the secret. The water here is different. Don't ask me to explain it because I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's filthy.
The water here is different, and the bread is not filthy. The bread is so much better here. So you can't have a good cheesesteak without good bread. But the first thing I would tell them is to get a cheesesteak. And the second thing I would tell them is leave before the game because we don't want you.
What happens Sunday, Howard? Give us the prediction.
I think I'm confident the Eagles will win, but I think it'll be close. I think the Cowboys will keep it close. But here's one thing I can guarantee. Guaranteed. Dak Prescott will throw at least one interception possibly 2. I can guarantee that. Guaranteed.
Okay.
So, and turnovers are the game.
The quarterback leads the league in picks.
Now, you know what? If the Eagles don't turn the ball over, they'll never lose a game. That's how good they are. So that's the only reason they lost the game to the Jets. They were -3 until they threw the fourth turnover was an interception, and that's what won the game for the Jets. That's their only loss. But Dak Prescott, this guy just guarantees you an interception. It's going to start. Water always seeks its level, and Dak Prescott will seek the turnover level that he's had in the past. Trust me on this.
Now, the last time you gave a guarantee, you kissed RJ's ass at the Super Bowl. You remember that, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, now look. In all seriousness,
They get pink eye.
the real reason I had you on, I left 2 or 3 minutes for you to talk about James Harden. That's all I really wanted you on for.
Boy.
What have you been saying about James Harden, who yesterday gave an all-time quote? He gave an all-time quote. He said, they tried to force me into a system. I am a system.
I am a system.
Dang, what a quote. What do you think of James Harden, what he did to your basketball team no one wants to stay with?
James Harden was a mistake from the day they traded for him. The president who makes all the decisions, Daryl Morey, is a fraud. He was a fraud in Houston. He's never won anything. He traded because he had a man crush on Harden. So he could have gotten Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield from Sacramento, but no, he wanted James Harden. Okay, and that was in the Ben Simmons trade. James Harden is a stone-cold loser. always will be, and always is. Embiid spoke last night after the game. And he said, I don't know what he was talking about. He had the ball every possession.
He led the league in assists.
Well, because he had the ball every possession, and assists in the NBA are a joke. The NBA is a joke. The NBA assists are different now than they used to be. Don't compare James Harden to guys like Oscar Robertson or even Westbrook, because now you can dribble and still get an assist can still go to somebody. That's not the way it used to be. They kind of relaxed the assist rule. He led the league in assists. He had the ball. He had the ball every possession he was in the game. It's a joke. He is a fraud of a. Now, I know he's going to be in the Hall of Fame because he's got the numbers. He is not a player that will ever win anywhere, and he's not going to win, obviously, with the Clippers. Terrible guy. I never liked him the day he set foot in Philadelphia. And these stupid fans that liked him. It's just, now they think the Sixers, because they got rid of him, are going to win a championship. That ain't happening. I'm going to be honest with you about that. That's not happening. As long as Daryl Morey's running this thing, they got no chance. Nick Nurse, I think, is a good coach, but he's got Joel Embiid, who's a really good player, but I don't think he's a winner, and I don't think he's a leader. But he's, really talented, obviously. But James Harden, don't let the door hit you in the ass because you suck as a winner.
Well, look, we hate you. We loathe you. I want you to welcome Bobby when he gets off the plane tomorrow. Tap into the Rangers parade today to check out what a true baseball team looks like, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Since you guys are starved for parade, should I have a parade for him here in Philadelphia so he feels at home?
Yeah! Roll out the
there you
red
go.
carpet, and we'll beat your rump at the Super Bowl in person like always. Get him out of here. Howard Eskin, WIP, Boomer Jack's Bar and Grill Hotline.